Hey everyone, good morning. It's Rebecca Undum, and you are watching Rebecca Undum Live, our weekly Facebook show where we talk about one topic at a time, and it's simple little life hacks, basically, communication hacks, relationship hacks to help you love your rural life more. I'm Rebecca Undum. If you don't know or you're not familiar with me, I'm the author of a book called How Mommy Got Her Groove Back and founder of Groove School, your resident groove finder and personal and professional development junkie. This is my world. This is what I do. And so this little weekly Facebook show has been such a fun way for me to stay connected to all the people that I don't get to see as much as I wish that I could. And we talk about things that personally, I guess, this is my content. So clearly I think it's valuable. But what I'm finding, good morning, Rhonda. Hey, welcome, welcome. What I'm finding is that more and more the women that I meet, we just need simple, easy things that we can focus on. And so really all you got to do is just take this one thing and think about it today, think about it tomorrow. If you can get through the whole week, great. And then we'll come back and tackle a new topic the following week. So today's topic is about curiosity, really about the value of learning how to ask questions and why it matters. Not so much how to ask questions, but why asking questions matters. Okay, so last week I was live with you from Austin, and I'm going to share just a couple of things. Good morning, Christy. Share just a couple things from that experience, because I think what's the point of going through life and experiencing things if we don't share what we've learned with other people, or if we don't ever pay attention to whether we're learning something ourselves. And so I learned a few things while I was gone. I was gone for 8 days. So it was a really long trip for me with being away from my babies. I mean, they're not babies. One kind of a baby, but 8, 6, and 3 are the ages of my kids. And I was gone for 8 days. I shared this with my group schoolers, the week before I left. But I want to share this with you before we get into the topic of curiosity, because one thing I know about women, we really struggle with comparison. And so I just want to share a couple of my experiences, because I went on this trip and did several things, and that comparison bullshit cropped up in several different ways. And I just want to share with you, so you know, and you get it, that everybody experiences it. It doesn't matter how developed a person gets. A lot of times you lose yourself, you stop looking forward and you start looking side to side and the people in the lanes besides you. So first of all, I went to this amazing event called Screw You Live, which sounds a lot dirtier than it was. I went to this conference because I'm a member of theirs. And I think I'm probably the only person a lot of them have ever met from North Dakota, which is common. But I just had that, I'm rural and I'm small town and they're not going to get me and they're going to think I'm weird. And I'm certainly not going to be able to dress on their level and all of that crap, right? I'm telling you guys, I went and I had the best time connecting with people that I've been interacting with virtually for months, since November. And once you get there, if you can just say that little serenity prayer, show up and be who you are, and the people that will love you, and the people that don't love you, it's okay, because they're not your people, okay? The second thing is that I spent this beautiful time with my very best friend, and I'm just going to tell you, she had sent this workout program to me, and I had been doing this, and my best friend looks like $1 million freaking dollars right now, okay? I saw her, and I'm like, holy shit, she just looks amazing. And right away, I was mad that I didn't feel like I looked as good. And I mean, that's an ugly feeling. It's a little envy for sure. But I stopped and I said to myself, she's been doing this for twice as long as you have, and you're different people. And I'm not comparing myself to her. I'm comparing myself to who I was 6 weeks ago, and she's better. Okay. So that was another thing. And then I went to Montana and spoke at this amazing conference with all women connected to agriculture. Every time I do this, I have this little bit of a is this really my crowd? I don't know, because a lot of these women were like cattle women. They actually, they herd and tend their cattle on horseback. Okay. I don't do anything like that. I'm not even close to that cool. Okay. So right away, I'm like, are they going to get me? Or you know what? I said a little prayer that morning before I got on stage to speak to them. And I decided to speak to them as women. It doesn't matter if you're a woman on a horseback or if you're a woman in a business suit climbing a corporate ladder. We're women. And so I went with that intent in mind, and I just felt such a connection with all of them. And so today I just want to encourage you, it's my lessons from my big trip, that we need to show up and be who we really are. This is a message I share all the time, but being full strength you is the only thing that matters. And you can't fake that. It's not something that you can't short circuit it either. If you want to meet real people, if you want to find good connections that are genuine and authentic, you have to show up that way. Okay, so those are my tips, my lessons from Austin and Billings and everything in between. So today we're talking about curiosity. And basically, curiosity is the antidote to making assumptions. That's the way that I would look at it. It's assumptions, or you know what they say about assumptions? It makes an ass out of you and me. When we think we know, or we don't even ask because we think we know what someone's going to say. And this happens a lot with marriage. I'll just go there. It happens a ton with marriage. You say to yourself, oh, well, I know what he's going to say, or I know what he's thinking. No, you really don't. And this is like, that's a chastising to myself because I do this all the time. So there's a few ways that curiosity makes us better. It makes our relationships better. So we're going to cover, there's 3 of them. The first thing that curiosity does, and so curiosity is just having that natural outlook that you want to understand and you want to know more. And moving through the world with a curious heart and soul. Hey, Katie, amen, right? The whole, I'm assuming the amen is to the spousal thing where we assume we know what they're thinking. Yeah, we don't know. We're not mind readers. Moving through the world in a way that we're open to what other people might think and feel, and we want to understand it. Because I don't know if you all feel this way, but, and you can please comment, please tell me what you guys think, but I feel like we're in this world right now, especially politically, and I don't get into politics that often. You will not see that generally from me. It's because I see no value in it. I will have offline conversations with people as they want, but I see no value in going toe to toe, head to head with people over politics on Facebook or Instagram or any other social media. But I feel like we're in this space right now where we've even stopped giving a crap about what other people might be thinking or feeling. We're just so rooted down in what our opinion is and what we think to be true and right that we don't even care that there might be another vantage point. And I just think that's a really sad way to live, because I have a deep, grounded value system. It's not easily shaken, and you having an alternate opinion isn't likely to shake my point of view. It's not likely to shake my point of view, but I care that you have a viewpoint that's different from mine. And I think I can probably learn something from other people. Tracy, you think I'm in your head spying on your thoughts and feelings. That's probably kind of a creepy feeling. I'm sorry for that uneasy feeling I may be giving you today, but hopefully when we keep going through this topic, you'll feel a little less creeped out. Oh, that makes me smile. Okay. So, so curiosity can help us kind of overcome that, just like, I am right, this is what it is. And also just give us that desire to open up our viewpoint to other things, because there's so much to learn. And this is something I will say, I feel like we battle a bit in a smaller town, just a lot of like bullheaded, not open-minded vantage points. And so every single one of us has a job to do in our rural communities, if you're rural like I am, to be the leader in curiosity, be the one that models what curiosity looks like. So here are the 3 things. Not creepy good, but comforted. You're not alone in how you feel at all, Tracy, ever. I think if there's anything to say, that's it, right? All the crazy things that any of us feel at any given moment, some other woman has felt as well. And so we just need to get better about talking about it, so we're not so we don't feel so isolated and so alone, because we're really not. Okay. All right. So here are the 3 ways that curiosity can make us truly better people. Hey, Trina, so happy you're here. Okay. The first is that curiosity builds connection. So, okay, I grew up, my personal and professional development background was in Dale Carnegie. Dale Carnegie training. And what we learned about was the human relations principles. He wrote a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. Dale Carnegie was all about being almost completely other person focused when you're having conversation. And so one of the things that I know to be true is that it always still has to be a give and take. So it's not as if by asking good questions of another person, really just asking more about what they're doing, what they're experiencing, why they feel the way they feel. And this could be initial meetings or follow-up, right? And in any relationship. But you still also have to be willing to give of yourself. So I just want to make that quick note, because I have been around people that are so skilled at asking questions that they almost deflect and never answer anything about themselves. That won't build connection. It still has to be a give and a take. But one of the things that happens a lot, especially when we meet somebody new, and maybe we feel a weird kind of pressure to be cool and to connect with them. So let's say, like, for me, I just was on vacation, right? So not vacation, I was working. But if I say like, oh, I was just in Austin, Texas earlier this week. And instead of saying to me, awesome, was it your first time? Where'd you go? What'd you do? What was your favorite thing? Blah, blah. They say, oh my gosh, I just went to Austin too. Let me tell you all about it. So that's a classic example. And I'm super guilty of that. And I've caught myself where I'm like, it's like I'm trying to just make this connection, but really I'm not asking them anything about their experience. I'm just like, yay, I get to jump in and talk about me. It's a really common thing. And so just make sure that when you're especially meeting somebody new, that you take an interest in them and ask them questions about, like, follow-up questions. So if they say, yeah, I'm from North Dakota, awesome. Did you grow up there? What, if you didn't grow up there, what brought you back there? And just get to know them. Again, remembering that if you want real connection, you're also going to have to give of yourself. Okay. The second thing, curiosity. So asking good questions, it creates clarity and builds understanding. So you can see the sun is shining on me. Like, I'm an angel now. I can move this way so it's not quite so bright in my face. This is that situation, kind of what I was referring to when we started the topic, about thinking what somebody is thinking or feeling or how they'll respond to something. We do not have that answer. So a couple things. So there's that, first of all, that we just don't know what's in their mind. And so when we don't ask them, we don't even give them a chance to express themselves. So that's understanding, right? That's how it builds understanding. We better know where people are coming from when we simply ask. And one of the easiest questions is just tell me why you feel that way, or tell me what you think about that, right? The way that it creates clarity, I don't know if we've got any moms. I know we've got a few moms because I know some of you on the call here on the Facebook Live today. But I'm telling you, one of the things that as a parent I tend to do is I try to fix everything for my kids and problem solve for them. And a lot of times I don't have all the information I need to actually help them problem solve. So the clarity piece comes in where we can't dispense our amazing mom advice and wisdom, impart it on our children, unless we really understand what they're dealing with. And that requires asking a lot of questions. Kids aren't always overly open to discussing things. We touched on this in group school last week as well. One of our group schoolers asked that question, like, how do I get my kids to open up? And there's a few different ideas, but the bottom line is you have to tell them that you want to hear from them. You have to let them know that you want to know what they're feeling, what they're thinking, what they're going through. And also the one tip that we had, especially with sullen teenagers, that maybe I don't have teenagers yet. I can only imagine at this point. But the fact that to say, I really want to hear how your day went. I really want to hear how your test went. I really want to hear what you're struggling with, because I can tell you're struggling, honey, and I will be here for you when you're ready to talk to me. So that balance of not making it feel like an interrogation, right? But I just think with clarity and understanding, when we know more, we understand things better. And that's always helpful, not just in terms of relationship, but especially if we're trying to help somebody. And in this case, for me, especially our kids. And my husband, I'll even say, he comes to me with things like work things. And if I don't ask enough questions, I give really crappy advice. Okay, so Trina, she says, you're so right. A lot of the time my daughter doesn't want my help. She just wants to know I love her and she's going to be okay. Amen, right? And that's the thing, as parents, our just tendency to want to get in there and fix it all. It's not always our job. Our job is just to be there and let them know that we will listen to them when they're ready to share it. Okay, and then the last thing that curiosity is, so there's three things. The last thing is that it challenges our paradigms. And this is kind of what I was talking about at the beginning with politics and religion and all of the tough topics the controversial topics we're supposed to avoid like the plague. Oftentimes, like I said, I have this grounded set of values, but asking about your values doesn't mean that my values suddenly are shaky or in somehow not solid ground. But I will tell you, I believe fully that there's a lot of growth for me still in the way that I think about things. Every time I experience something different, my viewpoint, my worldview shifts and opens up. And asking about people's experiences and asking about what people think and feel, that's how we do that. You know, the whole thing is becoming less focused on being right and more focused on learning. Walking through the world with the mindset of, what can I learn from this person or that person? It's just a completely different way to think about people. This isn't just professional relationships, it's personal ones as well. And then I'll say, like, the last tip with this in terms of challenging paradigms is when we ask good questions of ourselves, it can help us change the relationship we have with ourselves as well. It's always important to ask ourselves, why do I really feel this way? And why am I digging so tight, or holding so tight, or digging my heels in so much about this thing? What is the stronghold? Because again, that's part of understanding because how we connect and relate to ourselves is truly how we carry ourselves forward to other people. And that's why it's never just either or. You can't just improve your people skills without somehow working on your mindset, because it always starts with what's going on between your ears. So that's what I got for you today on curiosity. Ask more questions. Quit assuming that you know. And then also, if you're afraid, tamp that fear down and say, okay, there's nothing wrong with asking a question. Like you're afraid of what they're going to say. At least you'll know where you stand. Okay. So again, to recap, there's basically three ways that asking good questions can just make us better people and make our life more meaningful with the people that we have to share time and space with. The first is that it builds connection. The second is it creates clarity and builds understanding, helps us know what the other person's thinking. And the third is that it challenges our worldview, which is always a good thing. So we got Deb. Hey, exactly. I've recently learned that asking ourselves why, it's so important. It's so important because sometimes, and that's like the 4 agreements, it all comes back to the fact that we made agreements with ourselves. And a lot of times we haven't challenged those agreements since we were children. And again, I'm not saying that just because, okay, so religion or politics, let's say you inherited them from your parents, which largely we do. I'm not saying that means that they shouldn't be yours, but I am saying it's never a bad thing to ask other people about why and how they view the world. It's just a good way to live. If the only people that you say you can honestly love are people that think and respect or think and act just like you do, that's not a very full, open way to live. There's so many people with so many viewpoints, and you don't have to agree with them, but understanding them is certainly a lot more fun than judging them without the understanding. So that's what I got for you today, everybody. I encourage you to ask questions, especially of those that are closest to you, the ones that love you the most. Okay, so again, that topic came straight out of the Groove Finder's Guide workbook. Sorry, it's always this, my glare is not good. You should go this way with it. Okay, so this is a workbook that I wrote to accompany the book, How Mommy Got Her Groove Back. And I'm going to put the link in the comments. You can get a PDF of it for free. And so for the book giveaway this week, so on every Rebecca Undum Live, I give away a book. So this week, all I want to know is, can you share with us a time where you seriously made the wrong assumption and you were wrong? And had you just asked more questions, you would have got a better result. It doesn't have to be a long story. But I love giving away books. And I always tell everybody that, especially those that kind of hang with me every week, if you already have the book, I will send you a copy. I'll sign it generically and you can gift it to a friend. People love getting gifts. So that is what I've got for you today. There's nothing new coming up yet. I will be, I'm going to be making some changes based on the work I did this last week at this conference. So stay tuned for those changes. But I will say this, if you are not hanging out with us over at the Groove Seekers community, it's a free group. I'll post the link there as well. Come hang out. It's a great place to connect. And as always, if you have topics or things you'd like me to cover on Rebecca Undum Live, I would be happy to. Okay. So have an awesome week, everybody. Ask more questions. And as always, groove on. We'll see you soon.